Ryan, can I please look at the screen first?
Yeah, go.
You can do better than that. Come on, champ.
Come on.
Right. Serious caps on. Serious caps on. Right.
I don't have a camera.
Right.
Just an Easter bonnet.
Right.
That's going to hurry up.
Right.
Please, let's be
Let's be serious. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik, the Thunder Celtic podcast. It's been a bit since the first episode. I'm sorry about the delay for this one. Now about 2 weeks since the first one, but things were holding this up from getting everybody together at the same time, so you've got to understand that. Just quickly before I go into introducing who's here, I want to clarify very quickly that in the future I will probably invite other people on, maybe other people from YouTube, just try and sort things out. But what you're going to understand is very limited to now, but we'll get stuff sorted. Anyway, the people with me today, same cast if you like, the same folk as the last time. We have got the same four. I'll quickly introduce them before David has a fit. Paul, nice to see you. How are you keeping?
Hello.
Good. Aye. Lovely. David, how are you? Say hello. Right, okay. Right, no bother. Callum, how are you?
I'm good.
And Kieran, give a wee hello.
Hello.
Right, there we go. We got that bit out the way.
Am I not getting asked?
I asked you and you didn't answer me!
I didn't really get it.
Right, doesn't matter. Right, we're moving on to the first topic. Here we go, right. So I thought the best suitable place to start was probably the Astana performance last week. Very comfortable result for Celtic at Celtic Park. A 5-0 win with, Paul, what is it you said? 5 goals, 3 in target? What was it?
3 shots on target, 5 goals.
I asked Paul, but thank you anyway, David. Three shots on target, 5 goals. A very good result for Celtic. Is it safe to say we are through? Would you disagree? I don't want to jinx this, but I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say we're through. Anybody got anything to add? Kieran, do you have anything to say for the performance last Wednesday?
Fucking shambles. Can I?
It was quite shambolic.
It's a really good performance.
It was a good performance. The only thing is, right, I feel like there's still people who are going to be, and I don't know, Kieran, I always take you as one of the people. Do you see a glimmer of a chance for Astana to actually go through? Please say you don't.
Yes.
Alright, calm. But nah, hopefully not. I think they will score, but
it would be quite nice for Celtic to go through the whole qualifying phase without conceding a goal.
That would be an achievement in itself, but
whether or not it'll happen.
I just feel that if they get a goal in the first few minutes, man, fuck that.
If they get a goal in the first few minutes, though, I mean, it shouldn't mean anything. Like, come on, what? I mean, what is the worst that can happen? Right, granted, a defeat. That's pretty obvious. That's the worst that can happen. But if they score early, even if they scored the first 10 seconds, is there a chance that they can go and win 5-0? I don't think so. I just think it's completely. It would be the stuff like a movie. I don't see it happening. But there was something I was going to say, and I can't mind what. Now, Paul, what was your Paul? You took a very compared to me, Paul. This is something we spoke about in school the next day, and I know you were sorry, Paul. I just want to finish my point before asking you. Last week when I talked to you about the game, I came away from the game thinking, "Fuck me, what a performance!" Definitely proud. But Paul, you took a very different outlook, and a lot of people in my comment section actually agreed with you. I seen a lot of people say the same thing. So, Paul, take it away. What did you think about last week's performance?
Like, for the majority of the game, it was a good performance, but there were points where we were quite shaky. We kept on getting the ball away in that.
I understand where you're coming from, but do you not think it's one of the game? I don't know if any of you agree with me, but is there any? The negatives weren't bad. They should take away from it.
Aye, the negatives weren't awful, but I think it was just a bit worrying when we kept on.
What you said,
in the ball.
What you said, I know for the first 10 minutes I noticed that, and for the first 10 minutes of the second half I noticed the exact same thing, but do you not think it's a bit too critical of the Celtic fans to actually complain about that, considering we've went out, we've scored 5 goals, and we've got through at the end of the day? Do you not?
Aye, I wouldn't say complaining about it, I was just saying, could have probably performed a bit better at the start of the game.
Aye, I understand where you're coming from, but it's just, I think a lot of people just were a wee bit too negative. I don't like. Callum, were you about to say something? You were about to...
Aye, Ryan.
I heard you. Aye, on you go.
Any all night, those small mistakes could have cost us. Any all night. Against a team,
I suppose,
like Astana,
but I feel like they had been a wee bit, and especially when Paul was first talking about it, I think it was blown out of proportion a wee bit, and I can understand the shakiness there. But at the end of the day, we done what we had today. I don't think we should dwell on it too much. I mean, we're through, and that's it at the end of the, like, at the group stage. We can't make any mistakes. I can see where you're coming from, but I just feel like the negativity wasn't so much needed. I think overall it was a fantastic performance, and that's just my opinion of the whole matter. David, you're the one. You've no said anything about the performance. What was your opinion Wednesday night?
Well, obviously there is always positive and negatives in games, but I definitely think positives outweighed. I thought we played well.
I think that's pretty much a given that the positives outweighed if there's a scoring like 5-0. I mean, I think if you're actually trying to like complain about that, then you're just a whiny bastard, man.
one
just
thing,
straight out.
Paul. There you go, Paul.
If you can complain about that.
Sorry,
Paul.
I can see where Kieran's coming from. I completely agree. I just think it's really picky to actually, kind of, at the end of the day, 1-5-0, that's what matters. But one thing I was asked to talk about with somebody on Twitter regarding the game on Wednesday night was the Green Brigade. David, you're always the one that talks about atmosphere. You're really the one that cares about the atmosphere the most out of all us, right? Do you think the Green Brigade does have an effect on the team's performance? The fact that we narrowly escaped losing to Rosenborg 2 weeks before or such, to then winning 5-0 against arguably a harder team. Do you think the Green Brigade change things?
I don't think the Green Brigade I don't think they make us win, but I mean, I think if we did win 5-0, if the Green Brigade won there, I think it would still have been a good atmosphere. But I mean, just when it's that shaky bit, like 0-0, half an hour, like they just make it so much better. Like they start the chants, and see when they won there, so many people didn't join in the chants. Like people were scared to join in chants.
The thing. I agree with you what you're saying. I think what the thing is, I don't think the Green Brigade, as much as I respect them for starting the chance shit, but I'm not actually getting into my opinions on the Green Brigade here. I'm getting into the team's performance. I think what it is for me is the atmosphere doesn't help Celtic in the way that when it's half an hour into a game and you're still drawing 0-0, it just kills the atmosphere of the stadium. But you need the goals to split. If we got the goals against Rosenborg in that first half an hour, even one, maybe two, I think it would have completely been different. I don't think people would be having the same kind of outlooks by saying we need the Green Brigade.
See if the Green Brigade were there at Rosenborg and we still drew 0-0. I think as it got later on in the game, it would have got a wee bit. I still think it would have been singing for at least about 60-70 minutes of that game, like loud, like just non-stop singing, especially for them. They don't stop, and it does actually add so much into the game.
It does add. At the end of the day, my opinion still remains the same, that I don't think 900 or such supporters are going to make a. I know it's not actually 900 members of the Green Brigade, but that wee section that was taken away. But 900, I don't think that can change the team's performance, in my opinion. But
they just add so much more as well, like the banners. Like I know the banner doesn't exactly make us play better, like, but I mean, it must say if you're a player and you walk out and you see like a big banner, it must feel a wee bit better than walking out.
I understand that, but at the end of the day, like you're paid what, 10 grand a week to go kick the ball. I'm sure when they're walking out the tunnel, the last thing they should be concerned about is whether there's a banner flying.
I know, but I mean,
that's just my opinion. I can see where you're coming from. I understand a lot of fans will take. I feel like I know where you're coming from, David, because there will be a lot of fans that definitely agree with you. Probably people listening that will be agreeing with you right now. But just for me, I just think the Green Brigade at the end of the day, they do what they do, and the whole standing section, whatever, they do what they do. But I don't think that is what made the 5. I don't think personally that's what changed 0-0 5-0. It was just something else to bring that up.
I don't even think it's like, I don't think they make the team play better. I just think they make it more enjoyable, because see when you're there and it's a Champions League night and you're singing your heart out and you're just enjoying yourself. You don't think as like like there probably was a lot of negatives about that game, but you just don't think about it because you're up 5-0, you're partying, you're laughing.
That's
singing.
the thing. It makes it maybe an occasion as well. I think like if Celtic could have won that game 5-0 and the atmosphere could have been dead, but I mean I think I would treasure it a bit more, like, if I remember the night being good as well. Like, the team playing well obviously reflects massively on how the atmosphere is, because, was it last year's getting beat 2.5 Gladbach? Absolutely did.
Aye.
And it was just nothing to, like, no reason to cheer. Like,
you missed the Linfield game, didn't you?
I wasn't there, I was there.
Right. See, even though everybody walked into that game knowing we were going to win, and I know it's obviously Linfield bright, but see just everything they done, everybody's singing like their songs. It was so good. Like,
I will agree that atmosphere, like, before, I'll just say this is my final point before we move on to the next thing, because I don't want to dwell on the Astana thing too much. I do think atmosphere 100% makes a difference. It's just the question that somebody posed to me in Twitter was just, do I think the Green Brigade was the reason we were spurred on to win 5-0? My opinion was no. That was just what I wanted. Paul, Callum, do you say no as well?
No, I don't think it really makes the team play that much better, but it must give them a bit more confidence that the whole place is
See, I think it's more like against the other team. I think it's more an intimidation factor.
Spurring.
Obviously it does spur players on, but I feel as though it's like the effect is more intimidation rather than.
Because I think like in like the moments where like half an hour in and you're still 0-0, like the fans sort of give you a bit of motivation to keep on going.
I also think, see at the start of the game, see if you're a player. Like obviously, there's always a good atmosphere, right? But I mean, see if it's like a Champions League night and you walk out and like how loud it was at the start of the game, like that must give you a bit of motivation as well. That must give you that wee boost to really go out there.
Aye. Right. Anyway, so that was just something that was brought into and I wanted to bring up. Anyway, moving on. It's kind of carrying on for the Astana thing, but it's more or less the whole start of the season.
Hold on, before we start, can I just put a wee point at that?
There you go.
I know you're ready to move on.
No, it's fine.
See, like, you know how we, like, for the past year, Celtic have played more possession based, and Rodgers always said you need to play the ball back to start a new attack. He says he feels the fans have adapted well to like accepting that we don't always go forward, we need to work our way back and then find new routes. I still think there's quite a lot of people that are very much
against it.
Aye, because the amount of complaining I hear for people at the games, because even when we were in that game there on Wednesday, people are still complaining because we're playing the ball back.
Aye.
Like, I understand people are getting nervy in that, but come on, like, surely to God, by now you're used to it. Like, you know it's for the...
See, the only time I ever complain about passing the ball back was, see, when we drew 1-1 with Rangers, it was like the 87th minute or the 89th minute, we were passing it in the defence.
I feel like a lot of people just get annoyed with that kind of moment. And they don't focus on the good. Like, see them, this style of football for me, and I've always kind of preferred. I like Brendan Rodgers' style early days. Since he's came in, I've said for day one, I like what Brendan does. I feel like a lot of people are overlooking just because of the negatives like that. Sorry, I had to cut there if you noticed that. But what I was saying was, I can't remember exactly where I cut, so I'm just going to go for when I said that. I feel like everybody overlooks the overall scheme of the positives that has came from Brendan Rodgers' style. Like, we have look at what we've done just for moments like that where it's the 90th minute, we might be drawing, we might be losing, and then we pass it back. But I think it's understandable, and it is annoying because in the moment I'll shout and I'll be moaning about like, why are you going backwards? But when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, I think you've really got to appreciate the football.
I feel it really annoys me when it's like we could be winning the game and people still complain about it. Like, come on, fuck.
At the end of the day, if you're in like the 82nd minute, you're up 2-0, and we pass it right back to near Baton, I don't see why there should be a outburst of complaints. About this.
Are we talking any more about Europe after this?
We can talk about Europe.
We could mention...
Because I was going to say, I was talking, see when we were walking to lunch today, see if Sellik get put into Europa League and we got like decent draw, how far do you think Celtic could go?
See, this is the thing. This is the thing. It's really difficult to... We did mention it in the last one, and it's something we'll come on to. Like, I think we should go more depth into probably the next episode, because that'll be like around the group stage drawing time. But I think what it really depends on is who you're drawn against. Because for all we know, in the last 32 we'll be drawing Arsenal, but at the other end of the spectrum we could be drawing Batty Borisov if they're even still in Europe. So it really does depend.
We get them now in the beers.
I'd like to imagine... As I done last year, Kieran, I said that Rostov are beaten Bayern Munich, and they did just that. But
all the examples you could have chose, that's like Bayern Munich getting beat at Rostov. Never going to happen. It actually happened. Like, all the examples Ryan could have chose, every game possible in the Champions League group stages, all the underdog stories, he picks the one that actually happened.
I would like to imagine we're a side capable of getting to the quarters, perhaps semis. That's been ambitious. But I'd like to imagine we could get to the quarters, but it does depend on who you draw. It really does depend. It's hard to look into the future like that.
See, the only thing I was saying is, I'd be very happy no matter where we go, right? But I hope, see if they go on a wee run, I hope fans don't start you obviously expect to win, but I hope they don't get like angry at the team for Because they're still doing better
that
than
the other day,
expected.
talking about what was it? I was talking about like if we got and if we got into the group stages Champions League, if we got drawn against a team like Benfica, I'm not saying like Benfica are a really good team, but I just feel as though people would expect us to beat them, like,
Aye.
and then they would be the same. But it's
Same
like
as Mönchengladbach kind of thing.
Gladbach or again, because everybody went into that game way too overconfident. Like, I was sitting thinking to myself, it's gonna be a really hard game, but people are saying, nah. Easy days.
I understand your
then
mindset.
what happened? 2-0.
Aye, and we're all complaining, shouting, getting all the bastards under the sun for which was probably a defeat. Now that we can look back and Gladbach up, what a good team. It's understandable.
Aye, fair enough. I feel like it was 2 individual errors for Toure that night that cost us, possibly would cost him his place in the Celtic team.
Aye. But anyway, right, before we move on to another wee tangent, we'll move on to what I was going to say. It was coming after the Astana performance, but more or less the actual general start to the season. Leigh Griffiths has very much took advantage of Moussa Dembele being out. He has
last season,
reversed a bit. Leigh Griffiths is tearing it up, and it is leaving somebody like me second. Kind of doubting what I've always said. I've always said since Moussa signed, really, and broke into the team, I've always been saying to myself, well, since he broke in, really, no, since he signed, since he broke in, I've always said I think Moussa is the better player, but I've been left, I still, and this is where I'm going to lay out my original thought before we probably go into debate. Actually, I'm going to quickly ask your opinion of everybody before we actually go and talk about it more in depth. Paul, who would you choose starting, Leigh Griffiths or Moussa Dembele?
One word answers. One word answers.
Don't go in too deep now. Just one word answers. Don't dwell on it too long, Paul.
Griffiths. I'd say one more dance.
Right, Paul, did you say Griffiths? Right, Griffiths. Callum, what about you?
Dembele.
Kieran, nice split so far.
Griffiths.
Oh, and David.
Both can on Dembele.
Right, well, that's a lovely wee split. We've got there's 3v2. Right, Leigh Griffiths though has been breaking into the team. Kieran, we'll start with it. It's Kieran and Paul. We'll go Paul first. Paul, why would you go with Griffiths or Dembele? What is your reasoning? Right, because I will admit it, he is on fire right now. But why do you think Griffiths is still should be number one?
Because the way he's playing now, if Dembele comes back into the team as soon as he comes back, despite Griffiths being amazing, that's bullshit, basically.
You think it's unfair.
Aye,
you think it's unfair on Griffiths.
Plus, all round, I think Griffiths is a better player. Dembele's a better forward, but Griffiths is a better all-round player.
But see, the thing
I
is,
don't think Dembele would be able to set up
that's the
Forest
thing,
and
though.
Sinclair's goal on Wednesday.
That's the point, I think, is that Dembele is still very much developing. I feel Griffiths is in his prime now. Obviously, he can still improve, but I feel as though comparing the two of the now is slightly unfair. But people do say Dembele's better, but personally, I don't know.
Rebuttaling to your point there, but you're saying that you think Griffiths is in his prime and Dembele's still developing. I think Dembele is, as he's developing right now, is just incredibly good, and it's took him past. I think he's better. I think Griffiths really does show this. Like, he shows his true class. He does it every season in the Scottish Premiership and such. But it's just something about Moussa Dembele, and I know he goes missing. He goes missing all the time, and that's the main. I think that's the main criticism of Dembele. He disappears. He doesn't turn up for these wee games and such. But he shows it in the big game. Man City, perfect example. He is. I think he's another class, and he's up there.
My opinion on it is that Dembele, he's going to be a far better player than Griffiths, I think, like in the future. But right now they're very much on par with each other. And I know that kind of says more about Dembele, but at the current moment I'd rather have Griffiths in the team, because you did say Dembele's a big game player and that, but you ought to think Griffiths never gave that opportunity this year. He was riddled with injury, and by the time he got back, Dembele was in the team.
I do understand, but like, I think Griffiths and I think it goes unnoticed a lot of the time. I think as Celtic fans, and understandably so, and Cam, I don't know why you're molesting your mic, but we'll move on. I think it's overshadowed because as Celtic fans, and we all love Leigh Griffiths, and I think one of the things that really comes out about Leigh is his personality. We can all agree his personality gets him a lot of love for the Celtic fans. I think because of that, and because we love him so much, I think there is a lot of negatives to Leigh Griffiths' game for me. I think at points he just shows that he's still, I don't know, something about him that's just, he's no quite Dembele's level for me. I think he just...
I think, like, I used to always compare it using, like, I always used to say Dembele's like hold-up plays a lot better than Griffiths, but see after watching Griffiths play even like 20 minutes against Rosenborg, but his movement and like, see when he's not the tallest of guys, but he still jumps up for every ball comes towards him, and he actually pushes the defender back. Like, I think he's really improved.
He definitely has improved, without it, because under Ronnie Dyla, he's a player who I did say, and I said it time and time again, he could never cut it in like the Premier League, whereas Dembele, I think, is nearly... I mean, Chelsea were apparently willing to bid 40 million for him. But that's one thing I do admire about Griffiths, and David always brings up. He's always eager and he's always determined, and he goes for the boys even though he's not the biggest of guys. But I just feel like he rushes a lot, and he there's a lot of opportunities he misses. And granted, fair enough, you're taking the shot and you're willing to go for it, but I feel like there's a lot of chances where Dembele would create something. And Griffiths is a good creator, but I feel like Dembele has the vision to create something that would get us a goal rather than Griffiths just shooting for here, there and everywhere.
See, I don't know if it's overlooked as such, but see when you think about last season getting into the Champions League, Griffith scored against Red Imps. I'm pretty sure he did in the home leg. He scored in both legs in the Astana game last year, and he scored 2 goals in the first leg against Hapoel Beersheva. He scored all the goals and helped us. He basically got us. Obviously, it was a team effort, but he got us to the Champions League as well. Like, he was crucial in that. But then, as soon as Dembele came into the team, that got overlooked, and he was the quote-unquote game player.
I see, even though they're both like 2 strike, they're so different because
it's hard to compare.
Like, see if like Griffiths could genuinely like fit in at Cam and be like so good there if we ever needed him, because he, like, especially the new, his movement has been natural different class. Like this season anyway, Griffiths has just been like, his movement is so much better. Like Dembele's just see in bigger games. Like, I just feel like Griffiths, like, I think Dembele does go missing in smaller games, right? And Griffiths can actually just tear defences up. But I just feel like, see when it comes to playing against like world class defenders in the champion, not even world class, but just a higher class of defence in the Champions League, Dembele's just merely a presence.
I get what you mean.
It
like,
seems like
there's
something special about Dembele. That's it for me.
If you just like, not taking it away for Griffiths, like, he's brilliant, but I mean, like, if you have like a bigger defender or 2 bigger defenders and you just have him on him, like, he'll be able to open space up for other players, but it does have an impact, but it just doesn't seem as much, other than Dembele wins the big balls in that.
I feel like Dembele's definitely got the Dembele's definitely got the physicality to get by the better defenders for me as well. I feel like Leigh Griffiths is somebody who, he's got good, like, he's a good, like, this is what you were saying about how he could fit into Cam and such. I feel like Griffiths really has got the versatility. It could be out in the wing or whatever to help Dembele, but if you want to put them as a striker in a Champions League game, I just feel like Leigh Griffiths would have a harder time to do what Dembele does, in my opinion, and that's for me why Dembele should be picked to Griffiths. But I mean, as Griffiths is currently playing, I would keep him in I don't feel like there's a need to barge him out.
I would play him until like he's kind of...
No, I think if Griffiths remains in this form, I think Dembele's got to find it difficult to dislodge him for his place in the team, especially for the big games. Because once like, he's fit again, Rodgers will integrate him in the team by putting him in like the smaller games again, but he needs to work. He needs to prove he's better than Griffiths to get into the team for Champions League games.
Like, I couldn't see Griffiths doing what Dembele done against City or something like that. Like, I know that is like one good game for Dembele.
I know, honestly, right? Like, it was obviously his like overhead kick that was brilliant, right? Like, but that was kind of pure luck because it was just a defender's error that led to him getting that chance, but he did take a chance, and that's what I mean. Like, that's what,
he's just so, he's aware, he's a lot, no smarter, but I mean, like, he knows where to be. He's like an actual poacher.
I feel like Dembele's came into a manager who already has seen the future class in him, whereas Griffiths is somebody who I think under Ronnie Dyla was just kind of there because Dyla's thing was to sign the best players in Scotland by the looks of things, and he really, like, for me, he just was not keeping himself to probably a Champions League standard player, whereas now he's changed a lot. But Callum, you've been very silent. Like you said, who is it you said? Did you say Dembele?
Yep.
Do you have a specific reason, or have we covered the reasons, or do you have anything to add on the whole?
You just like covered it. He's just like so much more powerful and like against like a different class of defender. He's just so much more a presence and just.
See, that my only problem with Dembele, like major, is like I think it really resonated at the Old Firm where we drew 1-1. I thought before that he was starting to really believe in his own hype, and I don't think that's a good thing. Like, because people were building him up to be this massive thing. He's sitting putting up all that on Facebook. And it's just kind of
that kind of Paul Pogba type thing.
The modern players, just a pure social media presence. If it was gone down that route, as if he was like obviously as a big player now, like he's a well-known name, but obviously not like massive, but he's up and coming. But I feel as though he kind of got a bit carried away with that, and that's maybe reflected on his performances in the pitch, because after that it was really.
I feel like I really do think a lot of fans will work to it, and I feel like the people who do say Griffiths, they have the and I can see why, and I do see why, because it's true, to be honest. I can see that they all have the same conception. Is it conception? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Misconception, I don't know. That he doesn't turn up in the wee games, and I understand that because it's true. But at the end of the day, the team performance gets us by, and then if we can sub him off for Griffiths, I don't think we should be too concerned. Maybe he deserves the flag for it. You may disagree.
That's the thing. Like, every player disappears in games at some point, but I just felt near the end of the season, before he got injured, for after like the game against Inverness, I thought after that was a wee bit stale. Like, his performances weren't brilliant, but I mean, he did get a hat-trick against, like, who was it, back-to-back? It was like Inverness, and then...
Is that when he came on just off the bench?
You're going to edit that voice crack, right?
I don't. I just think Dembele just hangs after big games, doesn't he? Like, he
feeds off the occasion. He feeds off the occasion.
And I hope Griffiths can say, like, that there is no negatives at any of them, because see if Griffiths, like, but I mean, see if Griffiths, like, proves us all wrong and plays amazing in big games, then we've got two.
See, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say earlier. It pains me that we only play one up front. I know it's the system that we play in that, but it's a shame that we've got two brilliant strikers and only one can get a shot.
See, I've got this idea. I've got this idea in my head that it would just be the perfect world if Rodgers could replicate what he had with Suarez and Sturridge with Dembele and Griffiths. Just if that could be replicated.
Then who do you drop?
I know.
That's the thing. Who do you drop from midfield? And the other situation is, who do you bring in as a third and perhaps even fourth striker? Because at kind of Liverpool, when they did
both
have
of them
that,
are quite injury prone.
Both of them can pick up knocks. Especially we've seen it in the past year. Both of them pick up knocks all the time, and then like. You do need to have two, in my opinion. I think you've got to have a filler for both. It's like the situation we've got to now with one up front. I think we only need 3 proper first team strikers, but with that,
when I had your Chief Cheer away, that's freed up.
It's just like, can we get somebody of that quality who's happy to be a third choice?
That's the thing, though. Like, Celtic are looking to get a striker in now, and I was hearing, was it Akpom or something? Arsenal. I think that would be like probably the perfect solution, because he's at loan. He's just looking to get that experience, and like, I'm assuming it's a loan deal. Obviously, I don't know, but if something like that was to get pulled off, I'd imagine it would be more than happy being like a third choice striker. Because see, when you think about it, like, previously I thought, he's not going to get a game, but see, looking at us in the league recently, we just fielded our defence average age was like 18 point something years old there against Kilmarnock. So he's definitely got to give youth a chance this season.
Well,
in the league.
What a lovely transition, Kieran, because talking about defence, the next topic I had up to talk about is quite well done, Callum, fucking 10 grand to you. But before we quickly move on, let us know in the comments, Leigh or Moussa, who do you think? Because it's clearly Moussa. I'm joking.
They wanted to be polls. Do they want to be
let's just fuck up his dislike ratio. Dislike for Moussa Dembele.
Dislike for Moussa. Like for Leigh. Don't actually do that, please. It will reflect badly on the podcast. Anyway, centre back situation. Right, so the day stories are flying, right? Well, it looks to be it's almost complete. It's about 90% certain. It'll be due to is the guy South African? So it'll be due to a work permit and a medical. That looks to be on the in, but on the outside of things, we've got Sviatchenko, who looks to be perhaps heading back to, and Simonovic's bids. I don't think we'll lose Simonovic, but on the other hand, Sviatchenko looks as though it's almost certain he'll go in a way. I hope he doesn't, but we'll see. But it looks as though he's heading back to Denmark. Now, before I give man put in the matter, Callum, quickly, before we actually talk about it more in depth, your opinion of this in and out, just give your overall thoughts on Sviatchenko leaving and this Coetzee guy coming in.
I don't want to see Sviatchenko go. Definitely not, because like he's just so solid. Like,
I like him. I like him. That's the thing. I like him. I really like him. I feel.
I like him, right? But see one thing another way to look at it. Would you put him ahead of Simunovic or Boyata? Like in the middle?
I put my head of Boyata.
I put my head of Boyata. Like I feel like Dave, you may prefer Boyata.
I feel Sviatchenko before the old firma was Rwanic. Like I think that solidified that he wasn't going to be getting as much game time. Well, obviously he got injured and that allowed Boyata to come in January and that. But like I feel as though before then Sviatchenko was the placeholder defender. Like it was him and somebody else.
Like when I've been scrolling,
no, it's Simunovic.
Simunovic has proved that he's the best defender at the club.
When I scroll, alright, on you go, David.
On you go.
Alright, okay, right. When I've been scrolling through Facebook, I've been seeing a lot. Like people are like, thank God we're getting rid of Sviatchenko. Goodbye. I don't understand that. I like, where does that actually came from? I think he's a really good. I'm genuinely sitting here dreading the thought of him leaving. I feel like he's.
I feel as though people are focusing on the bad spell more than the good he done. Like, I mean, he's more than capable of just turning it around again, becoming a placeholder again. But then again, you've got to think, if we sign this person, which we're more likely near enough complete with that guy for South Africa, I don't know if his name's Coetzee or something like that.
Coetzee or something.
I'm just going to call him Rivaldo.
Rivaldo.
That's got a nicer ring to it. That's name. But so if we get this Rivaldo in, that means we've got Simunovic, obviously it's Gooden, Sviatchenko here, Simunovic, Boyata, Rivaldo and Ayer, who's starting to prove himself, and I'm glad about that.
Right, see if alright, I'll keep going.
Do we need a fifth one? Right, because somebody's getting left out, and it's going to look like it's sold.
Right, for you, Kieran, do you think 5's too many, or what's your opinion of that? And then I'll give mine, because I feel like you may oppose me.
I think 5 is too many. I mean, it is good squad depth, but then again, you've got the problem of 5 of them are probably more than capable of starting games.
See the thing.
I mean, obviously it's a good rotation system, but somebody's going to be very unhappy.
I feel like for somebody like Christopher Ayer, I think it might not be as beneficial because he might struggle to get in.
Aye.
But at the end of the day, I think to lose Sviatchenko and bring in Coetzee, for me, or Rivaldo, what you want to call him, for me, I don't see that as an improvement. Keeping both of them, I think that's great. At the start of the transfer window, that's what I wanted. I wanted an extra centre back, and I didn't want to lose any of them.
We can talk about 5 being too many, and I think like it's overlooked, because people are seeing this injury crisis we've got in defence, But the reality is we have got 4 centre backs for 2 spaces. We're just unfortunate to have so many injuries occurring at the same time, which is something that needs to be covered for by having a 5th one. But then again, you've got the problem, not everybody's got to get the game time they're wanting, and all of them bar Ayer at this moment could be definite starters.
See, just saying, like, obviously that about for what everybody said of that new guy, Rivaldo. He's very highly rated, right?
Aye, but you don't know.
I know you don't know that, but I mean,
like,
see, even though Simunovic is really good, like, I think playing youth is in and when it comes to the Champions League, that's like the only time I feel like it'd be a risk, because we could genuinely play anybody in the league and we'd be fine.
And see, that's
so I don't think it's a risk in that case, but I mean.
And see, building on what you're saying, David, there, see when it comes to the league, we have got 5 centre backs. See when it comes to the league, I think if for example, and I know Brendan Rodgers likes sticking to the same style, but see if we were just to even against teams like Hamilton, against teams like Kilmarnock, who at this point are dug meat, why no play with 3 centre backs? Why no change it up a wee bit, and then you can give other people a chance. I know it's not broke.
What, we just went invincible.
I know. No, I'm not saying it in a way change it as in I mean it in a way I'm just meaning in a way when somebody feels like they're not getting a chance. I don't think we're going to be any worse by playing 3 centre backs instead of 2. I don't think it's going to change much about the team. And against a team like Hamilton, I think we're still going to easily beat them with 2 or 3 centre back.
See, I just think. On
you go.
I just think. See, if with Rodgers, but there is no reason not to believe in Rodgers, right? And everybody does like Sviatchenko is some player, but I mean, even though he is some player, if there is a chance again, obviously I think he likes youth, and he's only 25, which isn't exactly old. But I mean,
football's playing this.
I know, but it's just is it worth taking that kind of risk to maybe bring in the next Van Dijk or something? Because our defence is solid enough.
But For me, I don't
But
like the
it's-
risk of having just 4 centre backs and one of them maybe not having that. I like this idea of having 5. I really do.
See,
Honestly.
like, I'm not really all for having 5, but I mean that's on the understanding that all 4 are fit, and it's never really the case because Celtic's luck with injuries, especially the past couple of years, have not been brilliant with our defence. There's always somebody that seems to have a knock. So I feel having 5 probably would be good, but my only worry is about game time and that. And
Aye.
unsettled
Paul, you've been
players.
quite hanging on the matter. What do you want to see? What Sviatchenko coach see? Who would you rather have? What do you? Just opinion on the situation? Throw it though.
I mean, like what you says, you prefer 5 centre backs. I don't like seeing situations where we're in the now where have players injured. Even then, we've got youth players that are showing are capable of playing in the league. I mean, Ayer, Ralston, and Miller.
Aye, and these guys have came
Houses
through.
like that.
Aye, these guys have came through and they've really showed. Like Ralston and Miller, especially, they've showed they can be really good. But I feel it's they're full. But I don't know. For me, it just feels like centre backs. Maybe a bit of liability if you're
we could
relying on
always
youth.
play with Beton.
Aye, I suppose.
Beton,
I don't think Beton's been that bad.
Well, but
Aye,
Beton has
but
been.
he's still
Beton's
good.
He's
Beton's just a
shaky,
bomb
but
scare for
I
me.
know he's
I'd
shaky.
rather
That's
play
the
him
thing.
centre back than centre mid because I think he's fucking
But see,
Beaton to
pain in the arse in centre mid.
but
Slows
is he that trustworthy for say a Champions League group stage game? For me, still no.
No.
For me
That's
personally.
why we need more depth, but in the same time, as I said.
It's a really difficult matter because you look at it, it's like at the start of the transfer window I was like, get another centre back, but it's got to the point now that Ayer's been trying to break in and Beton has came into this role as well. Maybe we don't need it, but for me, I just me personally, I'm taking a preference of why not have them.
I think it depends on where Shevchenko is as well. See if he wants to stay and fight for his place, then I'd definitely let him. But see if he's happy to move, then I would rather get to sort of like a young player who's eager to play than somebody who's just not too bothered. Like if he wants to stay and he wants to fight for his place, then let him. But see if he's like happy to move on, then I'd rather get.
I just feel like him leaving is going to be a thing that I'm going to. And I'm not saying regret it because at the end of the day, we're still going to win. We're still going to win the league at the end of the day. So I don't think I'm going to go back and go off if Sviatchenko was here. We wouldn't have done this, that. But he's just a player who I feel like it'd be stupid to lose. I don't know why. I just don't really like the thought of him leaving.
I do like Sviatchenko, but watching him, I've said it before, I'm sure, but like at the Old Firm, even when we won at Hogmanay and in the one each, like it was just very sloppy. Like reminded me of Beaton on Wednesday night, just getting the ball away at certain points, and it was very nervy. But
do you think
like,
he
he is a
was?
solid defender, but I think.
Do you think he was sloppy enough to lose his place in the team?
I think it was more down. No, I think him losing his place in the team was more down to injury and Boyata taking his chance.
Aye,
And that's another thing.
Boyata
We're
can
getting a
be
fifth
quite sloppy.
defender.
That's the
Aye,
thing.
he can equally.
I think
solid, but I
Boyata
just
also
think
makes up
he's.
for it though, attacking. 'Cause
Aye.
He scored quite a few good. Like, he
I'd
does
say
in that.
it's-
Aye, I mean, aye, but see that's the thing. The two of them, I don't think. Like, I used to always think Sviatchenko was miles ahead of Boyata, but see, like Boyata came in and done the exact same thing as Sviatchenko, if no a wee bit better for the second half of the season. So then you argue, like, if I was to ask you, who's the two centre backs you would go with? The new.
That's a good question.
With the ones we've got,
Beton.
no Rivaldo, right? Like no with this new signing coming in, just with the four we've got the new.
I'll tell you what, Paul, let you start. Paul, who's your two?
Including Ayer.
Simonovic and Sviatchenko.
Callum.
Simonovic and I want to say Ayer, but
I know.
I like
I think
you
he's ready to
trusting
be.
you. I like you trusting you because I do see something special in Ayer, but
I'm
I
gonna
do
say Ayer.
think Ayer.
you're
will-
saying
Simonovic and Ayer.
Simonovic and
Ayer is the
Ayer.
future.
Ayer's still got plenty of time because he's only 17. He's got plenty of time.
17 's another
I
thing.
think he's still got 17.
Aye,
If
it's
you have
like
to go off
19.
FM,
so good.
if you have to go off FM, it's gonna be brilliant.
Aye, let's hope it
He
comes.
was great.
For me, it's
Yeah.
still. I don't know about Kieran. Obviously, you posed the question, so you haven't actually said yet. But for me, it's still Sviatchenko and Simonovic. I don't know, but you would you say is it you Boyata? You team
I
Boyata?
don't know. It's a difficult decision because, as I said, I think they're pretty much equal. But I think
Aye.
Boyata, the fact that he was like written off as being just like selling on, like to then like come back into the team and prove he's worth. I think for that reason, Simonovic and Boyata, the new. But obviously, anything can happen. Can get difficult.
What age is Boyata?
He's older than the rest of them. I'm pretty sure he's like 25 something,
Aye,
26.
something like that. Something around that.
But then
range.
again,
Still all really young, though, man.
I know like
Young guys, a lot to develop.
Aye.
A lot to develop. Has anybody got any final points to add about the centre back situation, Coatsy, anything like that?
maybe no centre back, but it's not really related, but I feel bad for Eboué Kouassi, and because he's a guy who's not really been getting a lot of opportunities, and then to get injured.
How long? I've still not heard. How long is the actual injury?
I don't know. I heard the last thing I heard was he was going for a scan to find out, but I never heard anything.
See, since we're talking about centre mid, can we all just say how good was Nacham?
And Cham is.
He's been brilliant.
I think it was the Guardian put up an article the other day, and I don't know. For me, I've not paid as much focus as other people, but somebody says the best Celtic player since Van Dijk. For me, maybe a bit of an overrated.
A bit early to be.
See on Wednesday.
He is really good though. I think he will be a bargain.
He just has like every he kind of reminded me of Brown a wee bit. Like every single ball he won, he was first there every single time.
Something I've picked up.
He's a bit more skillful than Brown as well, so he brings a bit more.
Like he's got a bit more to him, like going forward. But I just mean, see, like every single 50-50 was his. Like everything, he actually won everything.
Big guy. Yeah, I don't think he's not the kind of guy that's going to lose him.
I feel as though, like,
there you go, Kieran.
No, just having two players like him and Brown in the centre, like I was seeing him as maybe a replacement for Armstrong, but now Armstrong's signed a new deal. It's like that's another problem. We've got a lot of squad depth.
I wouldn't play Armstrong deeper. I'd play him further forward, like
for yourself. So Armstrong was just a cam, but like see with Roderick is the thing that drives Celtic in my opinion. I think he is the creative spark. Like in my opinion, probably. If not the best player at Celtic, I know I've probably said somebody else is the best player at Celtic in the last podcast or something.
No, I think you're fine.
Aye, but Roderick for me, like, see when he was injured, like, for Hugmanay for heavy ages, like, I was saying, like, see when we were getting wee boring games, like, here and there at Celtic Park and that, like, that's what I was saying to you, is, like, he's the missing thing. When he comes back, Celtic are going to start playing good again. Because he just, like, even his goal in the cup final, like, it's just individual moments of magic, and, like, he sees the space, and see because his physical presence, he can just barge past people. He's just got something that nobody else in the team's got.
I think that's one thing we should... Like,
Roderick is maybe a presence, though.
One thing we
the only thing is Roderick sometimes is just a big clumsy bastard.
But then again, he can...
This is like, coming for me as well. I'm
I know. Clumsy. No, but that's the thing, like... Even though he's a bit clumsy, like, see with the body's feet as well, but he can get through tight spaces, and for a guy like him, he can just barge people at the white. I think he's class.
As we're down towards the 50th minute mark or such, I'll get onto the predictions to end off, so we keep it around the same length for the last one. One thing though, on that discussion, because it was getting quite, and I wanted to add a lot about mere centre mids and such, because I have a lot to say about my favourite player, but that's a very good topic to talk about in the next one, I think, talking about central midfielders. And along with that, in the next one, we'll have the Champions League group as well to talk about, which will be quite nice. Hello.
Since you just said Big Callum McGregor, but how do you feel about him not getting into the Scotland team?
Outrageous. I can't get it. That's shocking. I won't go in it too much.
The fact that Gordon Strachan can pick Barry Bannon. Absolutely beyond me. Stephen Fletcher getting that team's an absolute fucking joke. Stephen Fletcher.
Anyway,
this is why we get bummed every single game we play.
On Facebook, and it was like
Strachan picking his favourites again.
I thought I was an actual Celtic fan. They said, "Oh, there's too many Celtic players in this team, and it's such a crucial point in the campaign." I was like, it's worth it.
As if second-string championship players are going to make a better showing for Scotland than the Celtic team.
I
say we just go Celtic fill in Scotland. So I really don't see. I said to Regan that apart from like maybe Leigh Wallace. What Rangers player? What Scottish Rangers player would get into that team?
Even then, but Leigh Wallace shouldn't even be getting in.
Leigh Wallace is not a good player.
I mean,
Leigh Wallace is not a good player.
Fullback-wise, we've got Tierney, Robertson, Anya.
Leigh Wallace for me is absolutely garbage, and he's proved it in the first couple of games of the season.
I think a lot of people would be very angry if no Rangers players get in.
You can't do it about it if they're all shite. That's what I don't understand. Like, you've got to get their head around that every Scottish player have got their club. Right, I don't want to. Let's not go delve too far into Rangers because then we get the whole obsessed comments. Anyway, to end off, we've got two games to talk about hopefully before the next one with Dairies. We've got the Astana game tomorrow night and the St Johnstone game this Saturday, 3 o'clock kick-off. That is our next game at Parkhead. So Astana tomorrow night. Do we go this whole campaign unbeaten in the qualifiers? Paul, what is your score prediction?
2-1 to Celtic.
Oh, ambitious. Going out to Kazakhstan for a win.
Ambitious.
David, what about you?
I'm saying, I think we'll 1-0.
1-0. Kieran?
I'd be happy as long as we don't concede. I mean, in
6 goals.
I definitely would be happy if we never conceded 6 goals. But I'm saying not in each. Or I would take not in each, but I'm hoping for 2-0 Celtic.
Callum, yourself?
I see he's conceding. I'd say 1 each.
1 each. I'm also going to go with. I'm going with 1 each as well. I think it's going to be. I hope just people don't get disheartened if I get beat. So what? If I get beat, fuck it.
I know. If we get beat 1-0, then it really isn't the end of the world.
Aye.
I can even kill this if we get beat 4-0.
And then
I really could, man. I'd be
See as
absolutely
long
shit.
as we hit like 1 or 2 shots in target, we should score about 3 or 4 if we go off Wednesday.
Aye. Then. There you go. David.
I'm going to get pure slagged for that, actually.
Right. Do what? Tough titty. I've got to keep going. Anyway, so,
I'm not going to get that joke.
and the next league game coming off the back of a 2-0 win against Kilmarnock. We rotated the team a wee bit. I don't remember much of the performance. But St Johnstone.
Why is that?
Not any reason. St Johnstone is the next game.
It was done cupped.
Do we see? Do we see the youth getting a? Do we see the youth getting a push in again there?
Did you remember the first goal?
I've still not seen it. I've still not seen the first goal.
That's simply because he was looking away, children.
I was looking away. I was under
My
the
highlight
influence.
of that game was you in the train back game, man.
Right. So Johnson, I think we're going to play a few young players again, but I do see us getting a comfortable win. I'm going to go 3-0 Celtic. Paul.
3-1. Because I can see that bastard O'Halloran scoring.
He is in good form. He is in good form. He's scoring every week at the minute, man. David, yourself.
I think we'll only win 1-0 or 2-1.
Oh, Kieran.
I would say the exact same as Paul. 3-1. I think O'Halloran will score into us.
And Callum, final prediction to send us off into the sunset.
4-0.
I thought 3-0 was. See, to be honest, fuck it, why not? We're Celtic. We're on fire. To make it 53 domestic games unbeaten all the day. But I hope you have enjoyed anyway the second issue. There was a couple of cuts because of people interrupting, but I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure to go and I've wrote it down. Don't worry. Make sure to go and hit like and subscribe as well. It's on SoundCloud for you to download if you want to listen offline. So head over there, give it a like.
Banging tune.
A wee tune,
on the speaker.
Next time
Through
you're
the
out,
boombox,
get it through the
here we
boombox, yep. So thank you all for watching from me and the rest, and I will see you in the next one.
Bye.